with Tim Grittani. Welcome to Miami.
Thank you.
How's it going so far?
It's good. My first time in Miami. I like it.
So we do these live trainings where people learn in person. I think it's really useful. Like they can see our screens. They see a lot more than just learning online. Like learning online is good, but it's tough. You and Huddy, you guys are like bonding. How good is he?
Oh, he's amazing. He's executing better than me.
Huddy is the next Grittani. I've been saying this for a little bit. He just passed 100,000. Props to him. He's still in school too. He's like going back right now to study for finals. How crazy is that?
I think he said he graduates in a week. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Like when I graduated, I was like,
where were you in your journey?
That was like up 2,000. That's where I was at.
So
he's got a head start.
He is closing in, or you're over 6 million now.
Yeah.
6.2?
6.1.
6.1 million. When you graduated college, you were at 2,000?
Yeah.
And Huddy is graduating college, and he's at 100,000. When LFIN opens, he'll be at like 110, 120.
That's right, yeah.
How crazy is that? But he's also been studying 3 years. How long did you study while you were in college?
9 months, about.
So he started earlier. That's the key.
Yeah, more time
The
to prepare.
earlier you start, the better. A lot of people ask me this. Do they ask you this? Like, when should I start?
Like the actual trading part?
No, when should I start studying? Like, when should I start learning? What's the answer that you
As soon as possible, I guess,
As soon as possible. Because this is a process. You have to study before you can trade well.
Yeah,
before
like
you can make the big money, you have to study.
There's definite constraints to like when you should place your first trade and like what your life situation should be, what your financial situation should be.
Yeah.
But there's no constraints to like when you can at least start learning the information, and that's the part that takes the time because like. You know, we've talked about it time and time again, like how I was unprofitable for months, and then finally...
Let's be clear about your beginnings, because I get a lot of questions. You started with $1,500. You lost that $1,500.
Right.
Then you re-upped with another $1,500 of your own money and borrowed money from your parents to open up multiple accounts.
I had the borrowed money before I lost my $1,500.
Okay,
like
cool.
I had the multiple accounts. So I had like 3 day trades in Interactive Brokers. I had 3 day, I had unlimited, no, it was 3. It was 3, that's right. Because I was still under the PDT. So it was 3 day trades in Interactive Brokers, 3 day trades in Speed Trader, 3 day trades in Thinkorswim. So I could have 9 a week.
Okay.
Which is basically the whole reason I borrowed that money. That was the strategy. And the whole caveat was don't trade with our money. Like that's just to sit in those accounts and don't take anything more than your $1,500 position.
But you had the ability to trade 9 times. And
Right.
you lost all $1,500.
I did, yeah.
Let this be a lesson to you guys who want to trade right away. You're probably going to lose some, if not all, of your initial money if you just start trading without studying.
Every single successful trader I know has had at least one account blow up in their career, except for Dux. I don't know if Dux has, but everybody else.
He's not human.
Yeah. Dux is like the 1% who just never has known adversity.
I say he's like a Chinese robot from the future sent back in time to like teach us and eventually instill.
He's amazing. He really is amazing. But
good job, Dux.
But for us mere mortals.
But Dux has studied a lot too, so it's not a coincidence.
Oh yeah.
All of my millionaire students have studied like a ton, and you study differently. There's no one right way to study. Some people are like, should I study the DVDs, the webinars, the video lessons? You study mainly just the market. Like you test out different patterns.
Right, yeah. And well, at first it was, I watched Penny Stocking Part 2, and I was watching your video lessons on like basically breakouts.
Cool.
Because that was, the early strategy that I wanted to get good at. So like you would put out like, 5 lessons a week or whatever, and maybe 1 or 2 of them was on breakouts. So I would really just kind of ignore the rest. I think Dux probably just watched everything.
Dux watches everything, not just from me. So the cool thing about the trading challenge is you get video lessons and webinars from me, and now video lessons from Mark Crook. He has over 500 video lessons now. Do you know this?
He has 500?
Yeah, he's been making his own little exclusive video lessons
Awesome.
for trading challenge students. He just passed $1 million. I'm sorry I couldn't go to Israel. I'm sorry, Mark. I know that you're
Congratulations, Mark. Awesome work.
Congratulations. He's kind of pissed. Like, we're supposed to go there. It's going to be like a whole Jew crew, but Israel's not a safe place, dude. I'm sorry. It's just not. So I was like, I want to go, but every time I go, like, violence breaks out. But anyways, he has his video lessons, and you have, what, like 40 webinars archived.
Is it that many now?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
I think there's 44. I think I counted the other day. So you have all these webinars, video lessons, and DVDs learning from the past. Why do you think people don't want to learn? Why do you think people don't want to study the past? They're like, okay, you have that. Just tell me what stock is hot right now.
I mean, I think it's just the time it takes. Like, you know, everyone wants to get into this and get into it now and succeed right now.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that because I was the exact same way, and I'm kind of still that way about any other new things I want to learn. Like right now I want to learn like coding and AI and stuff. And it's like just mind-numbing. Like I don't want to watch like 40 hours of video on building. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Triforce, but like, you know, it's hard to sit through stuff like that. Like, you know, like you don't want the 40 hours of a video lesson teaching you how to do something. You want to be in the action and like just know what to do to succeed.
I think that will come soon with the Matrix, where we can like plug in and just like, I know,
like download the information.
I know day trading. He's like, I know kung fu. I know penny stocking.
But yeah, I think it's just kind of human nature to like just want to get into it immediately and just be good to go. But
what can we do to get these people to understand that you need to study before you can make consistent? I tell everybody it took you 9 months to be consistent. Everyone's like, how do I be the next Grittani? I was like, understand, he didn't make his first million in 9 months. Like he wasn't even consistently profitable, and that blows their minds.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it like this. So 90% of traders fail, and the 10% of us who make it also failed at one point. So, I mean, it's pretty much 100% chance you're going to fail early. So, I mean, the more you've studied, probably the less damaging those failures are going to be.
And also the smaller you start.
Yeah, that too, for sure. We talked about that today in the group.
Like, people start, okay, like I have $50,000. I'm like, okay, use 5,000 of that.
Yeah,
Start small, practice. Like if you can learn how to make like $100 on a $1,000 position, or like $200 on a $2,000 position. Just make 10%, and that way you scale up. Like the patterns that you're trading now, you're trading with big size, but it's the same patterns, just with bigger position sizes.
Right. I mean, when I had my blow up, my $1,500 that was like my money, that happened in August 2011. It would have been.
Okay.
And I was $4,000 in my bank account behind what was in my brokerage. Yeah. And that was from a summer job I worked at State Farm.
Yeah.
So that like $4,000, that's literally all the money I had left. So if my blow up, like, you know, let's say I had taken that money and just thrown all of it into my account and my blow up was $5,000, I have no money to try again. Yeah. Like I'm probably done right there. So
start smaller, because if and when you do lose some or all of it, you can go back in.
Yeah, and I mean the video lessons and webinars and DVDs and all of that are great education, but at the same time, there's the market education side of it too. And I mean, you're gonna take your bruises no matter how many video lessons you watch, but I think they will be significantly lessened.
And this is what I also say, you know, you have to learn how to lose. You have to learn how to minimize and control your losses. So some of you guys are like, no, I'm good. I know everyone else blows up, but I don't blow up. Like, okay, if you don't blow up, that's fantastic. Dux hasn't, but you still have to learn how to lose. That is part of your journey. So it's never like, I'm right 100% of the time. Like, I'm just perfect. Like, you will not be right 100% of the time, okay? The best traders that I know are right 60 to 70% of the time. So that means they're wrong 30 to 40% of the time. And guess what? That means they have losses 30 to 40% of the time, okay? When you have losses, you have to control them. And you learn this, you didn't necessarily learn how to lose well in the beginning. It took you a little while. And people forget this. They just see your overall profit.
So early in my career, when I lost the 1,500, I was pretty good about taking my losses. I just took a lot of them. I was way over trading and I just bled my account dry. It was really the middle of my career when I had switched over to NASDAQs and I was trading a lot more size that I started to really struggle with the loss cutting and then taking, you know, that form of defeat where I lose 290,000 in Lake, and then I've had 3 other 6-figure losses since then. So, I mean, it definitely, those sting, and those can be really damaging where you lose it all at once.
So this is another thing. Like, this is why I love talking to you. Thank you, first of all, for, you know, being so transparent. And everyone, leave a comment underneath. Thank Tim Grittani for being so transparent. Not everyone is this transparent with their whole journey, and you should learn from his ups and downs. And this is why I love talking to you, because, you know, when we do these interviews, people are a little surprised. We talk a lot about losses and mistakes. They just see his overall profit chart, like a few thousand into 6 million. They don't realize that it's step by step, strategy by strategy. Like, you've had to adapt a lot, like different markets, you know, going from OTC to NASDAQ. What's working right now best for you in 2018?
Best in 2018 so far is probably just shorting the overextension still. Just big parabolic shorts. And I've actually been working on my buying a little bit so far this year, and that's going so far.
Yeah.
I feel like with the buying, my win rate's pretty low, but the ones I hit big.
Are you buying breakouts or dip buying?
When I'm doing well, I'm buying breakouts. When I'm doing poorly, I'm dip buying and consolidation, usually sitting through about a 5 or 10% gain, and then the trade will turn on me and I wind up eating a loss.
Yeah.
So.
And it's interesting. So I'm actually better at dip buying right now than buying breakouts.
It's funny, like my entries are good.
Yeah.
I just fall victim to overpatience.
Yeah.
And I've talked to like everyone about this today so far.
I have underpatience. So
Yeah.
it's cool because you learn what you're good at. Like you're very patient, so that works for breakouts. I'm very impatient, so that works for dip buys. Like our skill sets are different.
Right, yeah, like I would never want to be patient on a dip buy.
Yeah, and I can't be, so it's perfect.
Yeah, and like what I talked to someone about today was that, you know, with it like patience is a double-edged sword. Yeah. Like if you pay yourself quickly on all of these longs, like you're not going to have like the 80, 90, 100% winners. But at the same time, your win rate's going to be much higher.
Yeah.
So I think best solution is somewhere in the middle where you pay yourself a portion, ride the rest. But I'm just not that good at that mentally right now.
But
for some
you're
reason.
better at patience, and I've tried, and it just doesn't jive with me. So we find a strategy that works for us. And
right.
I think this is a great lesson. I actually never put this together until this moment where you're patient, so breakouts are better. I'm impatient, so dip buys are better. When you try dip buys, your overpatience hurts
my patience bleeds over a little bit.
When
yeah,
I try breakouts, my impatience hurts me. I buy breakouts, and I always sell too soon because I get shaken out, you know, by the choppiness.
Right.
And I was like, I wish I could be more patient. This is it.
Difference of two setups.
We just solved the entire stock market right here. It's actually pretty cool. What about, you know, short selling is tough. These overextended stocks.
Locates are getting more difficult.
Locates are getting more difficult, but you know, obviously you have patience with them because most penny stocks do come down, especially when they run up like this. But how do you handle, you know, shorting these insane runners like RKDA, like 5 to 50, or you know, what was it, IMTE, where you know it goes like 2 to 40? How do you handle all that volatility?
Lately, I just haven't been able to get shares, so I haven't even had to worry about it. I stay away from the dip buys, though. I don't want to dip buy something like that. I just think it's too risky.
Interactive Brokers actually had an IMTE.
Did they really?
I shorted it pre-market at 25. And then I covered at like 22 because I had to take the profits. Like I'm impatient, right?
Right.
And then it came back up, and I just put in another order just to see, and I got executed. I mean, just a few hundred shares, but they had it. I was pretty surprised.
I mean, if you want to talk about like handling parabolic shorts, one recently that I've struggled a bit with has been BLNK. Yeah. That's been a tough one. That's had a few traps for shorts along the way. Well, it's choppy, but it's still 1 to 6 or whatever it went to.
But people who have shorted it and then they tried to go long, and then the long got pulled out underneath. Like it's screwing with everybody.
Yeah, it's a tough trader.
Are you short too?
I'm shorted overnight right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it finish at its lows?
It finished at like I think it closed at 493.
Oh really?
So that's a pretty good low close for the day. But
we'll cover tomorrow.
But okay, so I had 2 days trading that one though that I kind of want to talk about because it's kind of the tale of two losses.
Tell people.
Yeah, so the first day BLNK was running when it's in the midst of like its first big spike and getting up near 350.
HEAR is at 976, by the way.
Which one?
HEAR.
Oh, damn.
It's up
okay.
$3 a share.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. First day that I'm trading BLNK and trying to short it is into that first parabolic up towards 350. And I just misjudged it. I thought it was topping at 350. I was wrong. And I got stubborn on it and wound up having to stop out on it over 4. And then I took another loss on another attempt later that day on the front side before I finally, you know, kind of had a decent trade at the end of the day to make back most of the losses. But that first day was frustrating to me because there was that theme of stubbornness and not cutting my losses where I should have that really made these losses a lot worse than they should have been. But then yesterday, when it had topped out up near 6 in the morning and then slammed back really hard, traded near its lows all day in that choppiness, I had built into another short there. I intentionally was playing it bigger. I thought it was a very high odds setup. And that one, it squeezed up into the close. I wound up having to take another loss on that. And it actually was worse than my losses the first day on it. But I felt better about it. I was fine with yesterday because it is a setup that the majority of the time it works.
Yeah.
And it was within my plan to play bigger. And I did what I should have. I got out. I didn't get stubborn. So, I mean, the dollar amount behind the trade doesn't always dictate, you know, how well or poorly you did. Sometimes it's all about how well did you execute your plan.
A lot of that is, you know, very important for you guys to hear because I get messages from everybody and they get discouraged if they have a loss. Like even if it's a good trade plan, even if they stuck to their rules, they're like, Tim, I did everything right and I lost like $50 or $100. I'm so discouraged. And I'm like, but you stuck to your plan. And it was, you know, maybe it was a good pattern, maybe it wasn't a great pattern, but sometimes shit happens. Sometimes you're just gonna lose.
Yeah.
And you need to learn to cut those losses, and that's a good trade. Like some of my best trades are losses, and that's tough. Like people are like, "What do you mean? Like what kind of shit are you teaching? Like it's a loss. It's not good." And then I have some gains that are not great trades, where maybe I got a little lucky. Maybe I went a little too big. Maybe I got a little, too patient for my, dip buys. So I want you to talk about how do you stick to your plan? How do you create a good trade and not risk being a bad trade?
I mean, my trade plan is entirely based on the chart. Sorry, just to touch back on your thing about good losses really quick. You want to talk about a good loss? I told you about my HMNY trade back in September.
You lost $100,000.
I lost $100,000 and I wound up cutting my loss at about $10 on HMNY. The stock went to 39. Like I would have been down $1 million. Like that is a damn good loss, even though it's $100,000. Like and yeah, I made plenty of mistakes in that trade, but
I shorted BLNK in the 2s and it just went to the 6s. I cut losses quickly, barely scratched my account.
Right. But I got off topic there. What was your other question?
How do you create a good trade plan?
Okay, yeah, so it's all chart based. I mean, the reason I knew to get out of that HMNY trade was because a major daily resistance was breaking. It was a breakout now. It was no longer a short setup. So, I mean, I make all my decisions based off of that, off of like key resistance levels, key support levels. The chart is guiding my decisions. So I'm not getting out of HMNY because I'm scared that I'm down $100,000 or I'm down like 30% and that terrifies me. I'm out because the chart tells me it's time to be out.
This is what I love about this guy. You are so disciplined. You actually, from what I hear, you turn off your profit and losses. So you can't even see it. You're just trading the chart.
Right, yeah. I don't like to see it during the day.
I could never do that. I mean, I'm the exact opposite. I am all about the profit and loss. Like, I'm trading with a small account, so if I get to like $1,000 loss, I'm like, I'm out. And I oftentimes get out too quickly just because the choppiness with these stocks. So I cut losses quickly, you cut losses intelligently. Both approaches are right based on
I think you can. I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Like your risk level breaches on the chart. Cut that loss quickly. That's what I mean by cut losses intelligently.
Yeah, but especially for newbies, intelligence is tough. You don't have trading intelligence. So I find I just like you guys to cut your losses quicker than you might have to. Like with your stuff, like some people say, oh, Tim, like you should give it more time. And I say, fuck that. I'm teaching people safety first. You can get more aggressive later on. Have you gotten more aggressive and more patient now that you've been in the game?
My patience is improving for sure.
Yeah. Because now you've seen more stuff, so you trust the charts.
I trust the charts a lot more, yeah. Like I feel less pressure to take my profits on day one because I've seen the pattern play out so many times that I know that there's a decent chance of it continuing one way or another the next day.
Yeah. A lot of people say this, like they're like, Tim, I'm studying, I just can't get confident. How do you get confidence?
Screen time, experience. I mean, and also that preparation of, watching the video lessons and stuff like that, but ultimately, like your experience is going to be your best teaching tool, and especially your mistakes. Like people want to brush their mistakes and their losses under the rug, and that is the number one thing you should be learning from. And like we said, not every loss is a mistake. It's unavoidable. You're going to lose sometimes. Sometimes the pattern just doesn't work. But the ones where you actually make the mistake, you study the hell out of that and fix the problem.
And that's the cool thing. If you do cut your losses quickly and you minimize them and contain them, you can make them all back very quickly. Like your $100,000 loss, like I can imagine some people at home sitting like, $100,000 loss. But you made that back in more when HMNY turned later on.
Right, yeah.
And I used to do this. My biggest losses came, and then I would have the biggest gains right after. Because you're basically trading the same chart. You're trading the same pattern where the stock is spiking ridiculously and then it comes down. And it's just a question of how high does it go. And lately, in the past few years, we've been seeing some craziness. I mean, we didn't see 2 to 40 a few years ago. But when you first started, like
I don't remember seeing that. Yeah,
like 2 to 6 was a lot back then. Like 2 to 8, like every time it doubled, tripled, or quadrupled, you could pretty much bet that it was going to drop. And then some of these plays, like DRYS, went from like 5 to 120. Like XNet or CNET, goes from 1 to the 11s, and XNet also, that was a big multi-month run.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful, okay? Just because something worked in the past does not mean that it's going to be the exact way right now. And this is tough for a lot of you guys because I'm sorry, in the beginning of my teaching, like years ago, you would see me do a video and I'd be like, this is the only way, this is how it is. I'm sorry, I was an idiot. I wasn't as experienced of a teacher now. Now I've seen a lot of newbies, I've seen a lot of supernovas, I've seen a lot of successes and mistakes. So keep an open mind, What do you think people need to think about mostly? Because you help mentor people too.
Yeah.
You need to watch his Trading Tickers DVD, by the way. That is required watching. I see a lot of you guys in chat asking him questions. Watch his DVD. It'll answer like 90% of the questions. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you do want to study a lot of people's setups, what works best for them, what their style is, because a lot of it early on in your career is self-discovery. You don't.
10. It's over 10.
It's over 10.
Ridiculous.
Tomorrow's target.
You want to get it? You want to open your laptop? You want to stop this?
I'm good. Okay. I'm not doing anything with that after hours, but
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Earnings winners. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what we were talking about now.
Derek, what was he saying? You're just trying to get camera angles. You don't know.
Yeah. What people should be doing early. Oh yeah. So it's self-discovery early on. Your room wasn't the only room I was in when I was first learning. I was all over the place. I was trying to learn lots of different strategies, lots of people's thoughts on different setups. And you just kind of pick up little pieces along the way from different people where you're like, okay, yeah, that part makes sense. That part kind of clicks with me. You and I, we were talking about the big difference between showing realized profit and loss versus not.
Yeah.
And that was a huge aha moment for me. When I started hiding my unrealized profit loss, that was like a huge moment in my career, because all of a sudden I didn't have those numbers of how much I was up or down staring me in the face, and I started making more pure decisions.
So I tried doing that for a few days. It was the most uncomfortable thing. It was like when I tried to go scuba diving. I'm not good putting my head underwater, and I was like scuba diving. My scuba instructor said I was the worst person. Same exact thing. Or if you're really constipated, and I was just like, this feels terrible. So you have to find what works for you. And like we said, like Stephen Dux, who just passed $2 million in profits, he took a little from you, he took a little from me, he's watched Mark Crook's video lessons in the challenge, he's learned from Michael Good's webinars. So take a little bit from each trader and try to, create your own strategy that suits you and your personality. There's no one right trader. There's no one magic formula, and you must disregard everybody. Keep an open mind and test. You have to think of yourself as a scientist, okay? You're tinkering. You're refining, and eventually, year 2, year 3, year 4, this game gets so much easier, but you need to make it there. A lot of people give up. I get messages from you guys saying 3 months in or 6 months in, trading is so hard, I don't get it. I just suck at it. Everyone sucks in the beginning. It takes time. You have to learn, and you have to understand that this is a journey. Can you imagine? What if you had given up after your first, 6 months? Where were you 6 months in?
So my first trade was May 2011. That was November. So that was right after I got back to break even and I had my win on AMWI, the awesome penny stocks pick.
I remember that.
So that was I'm up $2,000 at that point.
Okay.
And then a month later I graduate college.
Okay.
And then, because I had the December graduation for the extra semester.
Yeah.
And then I lived at home for 5 months, 6 months, something like that. And traded full time, got my feet under me. And then
living at home is good because you don't have to think about
cut the bills way down. That was big, yeah.
You can focus, so it's a good thing. This is all a game of focus, okay? The more that you focus especially in the beginning, while you're tinkering, while you're refining. After year 5, year 6, you haven't even been in year 10 yet. Like, wait till you get to year 10. Like, everything is on fucking autopilot if you study, if you prepare properly. I'm excited for year 10 for you.
Year 10, that'll be an interesting year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, you'll be over probably like 10 or 15 million, but it's not even just the money, it's just the ease. Like, you have to think of this as not just your job. Like, I know some of you guys want to work on this like nonstop, but they burn out because it's not sustainable. You need to figure out something that's sustainable for you over the years. Like, I love the fact that you take months off and you go travel.
I had to because I was getting burned out. Like, I mean, November and December were insane. And then I was just like, even though like all those opportunities were there and the market was like at its best, I was just like,
you weren't mentally there.
I was just mentally done. I was like, I got to step away from this because like I'm going to do something stupid. Like
Steven Dux right now is in Hawaii. He made, I think what, like 600,000 in like the past 2 or 3 months. Or no, I think
he said
900,000 in 3 months, 600,000 in 2 months. And he just had to step away. And he's in college too, double major, insane. But he had to go to Hawaii just to clear his head. Because this is intense. Like, you're staring at a fucking screen. These numbers are moving up and down. Like, the dollar amounts are getting a little insane. It's good and necessary to clear your heads. Like, I don't know any trader who just trades nonstop and has these big wins and is fine. Like, you have to sometimes take a break.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's what I think.
For sure.
You know, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like people in the gym. Like, do you take, you have like a rest day. You have a cheat day.
You get a couple rest
days. You have a
days,
cheat day. Everybody who's like into fitness, you have one cheat day. You can't just eat the same thing. Like, your body gets used to it. I don't know. There's science behind it. It's good to have a cheat day. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's good to have a travel day or travel week or travel month.
Yeah.
Could you do a travel year? Could you take a year off?
I don't think I could stay away for a year. I can barely stay away for a week. So like,
what do you do? Like, towards the end of the week, are you starting to be like your wife is like, what are you looking at?
It gets easier like the longer I go. So like when I first go on a break, like for a week or two, I'm still pretty much checking quotes and like kind of having a finger on the pulse of the market, so to speak. Like, but then like the longer my break goes, the like easier it is to be like, I don't want to look at that today. And then it starts to be like, I don't want to come back. Like,
because you're having fun living. Life is very fun.
It's hard to detach from. It's so freaking addicting.
Life is fun when you have freedom and you know you're in like Italy. Where else did you go? Iceland?
This time we were Italy, London, Ireland.
What was the favorite of all of those?
Probably Lake Como in Italy.
Italy!
Yeah.
Italia! I love it. I haven't been to Ireland yet though. I need to. But was it warm or cold? I feel like it was cold.
It was cold in April.
Yeah,
but
I can't do cold. I'm sorry.
Go in the summer. It'll be beautiful there in the summer.
Yeah. And we were saying this, like, Europe in the summer is fantastic with the U.S. trading hours, like 3 p.m. till 10 p.m. It's beautiful. Final thought. What can people do today to get better at trading in the future?
Track your trades. 100%. Like you need to put in what the setup you were trying to trade was, what your profit loss was, have a little column where you can, hold yourself accountable to any mistakes you felt like you made, and just keep track of those results over time and see where your highs and your lows are. Like what setup are you best at? What setup are you worst at? Cut out the stuff you struggle with, stick with what you're good at. We talked about how you should learn a lot early and kind of see what clicks with you.
Yeah.
But then don't feel like, oh, Tim buys dips, so I have to be good at buying dips. I might struggle right now, but I should just work my ass off and be good at buying dips. Like, that's not the mentality I take. Like, I watch you buy dips and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want nothing to do with that. And that's fine. Like, different people have different strategies, different strengths. So it's all about finding your strengths and then being disciplined enough to cut out the rest of the noise.
I was dip buying here today at 680. It is now over 10. I wasn't going to hold through earnings, but it's nice to see that, it keeps going. Also, I want to add to that where this game is a moving target kind of game. So just because you get comfortable with a pattern, you might be like, okay, I've tinkered, I've refined, I've studied, I'm great at this. Then the pattern might stop working, okay?
Yeah.
And you'll have to adapt. This happened with you.
It did.
With OTC players.
Yeah. And so I guess like the extra step I can add to what I said that I didn't really include was, So, I get my 2 to 3 niche setups and I'm just sitting back, I'm being a sniper, I'm waiting for those. But in the meantime, I start tracking new stuff. I start watching new ideas, testing new theories. And I'm not necessarily even trading them at first, but I'm always kind of looking on to the next thing, the next setup, the next idea.
Yeah.
And that way, if one of those areas of opportunity does dry up, and we kind of could see that coming with promoters a little bit, because they started getting halted, and you started reading about people being arrested and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a good thing that I was kind of preparing for it. But yeah, just always look to new things. And then when you're finally ready to dive into a new strategy, don't trade it with the same size you're trading your bread and butter stuff. Start small, work your way back up.
Correct. You can always test. And if you want an analogy, think about how companies always do R&D, research and development, right? Even the most successful companies in the world, like Apple, they don't just say, okay, we've created the iPhone, that's all we're going to create. Like, they're testing 50 new products, maybe small products like the self-driving car and stuff like that, but they always have something in the background working on, because that could eventually pay off. No different than millionaires. Most millionaires, the average millionaire, this has 7 streams of income.
I've heard that, yeah.
7 streams of income. So if you just focus all your time on the stock market, it's like, okay, but what else can you do? Like, you're gonna have money, you can maybe do real estate, you can do all sorts of other things. So some people got angry with me when I first started teaching. They're like, you're a trader, you can't teach. I was like, why not? Like, you can do anything, and you should have your eggs in multiple baskets. So understand, this is a game of refining your process, and then even if you find the perfect combination, you might have to scratch that and find something new. It never gets like so easy you don't have to put in any work. And if it does get that way, if you get rich enough and you want to retire, that's fantastic. I've had times where I've tried to do nothing, I get bored as fuck. Like, I want to do something. I want to challenge myself. I want to use the internet. I think this is an amazing time in history where the internet is just beginning and the applications, especially for education, are just beginning. So I'm excited for the future. But you have to have the right mindset. That's why we do videos like this. Some people are like, okay, just give us a hot stock pick. Like, what should people buy right now? Invest in yourself. Okay? Yeah. Invest in your future, invest in your knowledge, invest in your self-sufficiency. That's what you should invest in right now. Not any one company, because any one company can fail, but you are your best investment. Do you like that?
I like it.
Is that a little too corny? I don't know. A little too corny? You are your best investment. Whatever. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks.
Awesome. Study up. Hey, Tim Sykes, Millionaire Mentor and Trader. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope that they help you. I want to share everything that I've learned over the years. You can check out more videos right over there. And also click subscribe so that you can watch all of these videos, get that knowledge, and become my next millionaire student.